Hey everyone, it's Colleen Gallagher here with Colleen Gallagher International. I'm super excited. I hope you're doing amazing on this beautiful Friday, February 24th of 2023. When you join, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from in this beautiful planet Earth. I'm in Los Angeles. It's very rainy. We're supposed to have like a whole rain storm the next week. But I love knowing where you guys are tuning in from. I love knowing if you're on the replay. So always say hashtag replay because I do believe in these tools, or these platforms, I should say, as a tool of connectivity. And if you don't say hello, you don't engage, it makes me sad because I can't like respond back. And I really do enjoy, and it nourishes me and it activates me to know that you guys are on here and you're watching and you're consuming this content, and we can really create a two-way dialogue and relationship. So with that, my intention with this video is for this video to be a reintroductory of who I am, why you found me in the online world, and what I can do to support you in creating a life that you love. I usually do one of these videos as a reintroductory every 6 to 8 months, just because I up level, I expand, this community is growing, and I want just there to be fresh energy of knowing this business page, of knowing this, why this page is here, why Colleen is here, why you see me on the internet. And so anyway, let's get into it. I do have some notes. So if you see me looking at my notes, that's why, because I want to make sure that I get everything in this video so it's very clear as why you found me, why I'm here, and what I can do to support you. And I also want to make sure that you guys feel like you know who I am. You know why this matters to me, instead of some woman that's just on the internet talking about things that are important to her and things that I've learned to transform my life. So my mission in this life is to support every single person that I touch to create a life they love. And I know that's like big, but I really believe in this frequency, in this vibration of creating a life that you love, so that when you do this, that you create a life that is more meaningful when it comes to your relationships and your careers. As I know firsthand that we won't look back on our life and we don't remember everything we did, but we will often remember everything that we experienced with people that meant something to us. And I really early on in this life wanted to understand how to create a life by design instead of by default, where I could create a life, especially using technology, that gave me the freedom to live, to travel, to work wherever I wanted to work, when I wanted to work, that would allow me to influence and impact the lives of millions or tens of thousands of people, and that I could earn uncapped income. And when I started to do this really early on in my life, I began to have results really early on in my life. And then I began to become very passionate about, if I could do this for me, I want to help other people do this. And so this video is going to share with you a little bit about why you're here, how you can also do this, and just why this became such a passion of mine. So before I get into this, I just want to share a little bit about what I know about you. You are on this page, or you're my ideal people, or why this online coaching and education company exists in the digital world is for this type of person. This is the person that I'm here to serve. This is the person that I was. This is the person that I've awakened from. This is the identity shift that I've curated in my life, and I know is possible for any single person that is willing to have a different narrative, a different life. And so the thing that I know about you, if you are here, and one thing I want to share before I get into that is, when you look at this page, you could think much like therapy. I personally never wanted to go into therapy. I think therapy is great, but for me, it was never the thing for me, because I felt like one of my big values in life was freedom. And if you're a therapist, you can only be in one state. You're not free to be able to travel and support people and really grow a global empire. You're really confined to one state, or you're confined to one nation in which your therapy license is relevant. So that's one. So coaching and mentorship became important to me because it gave you the freedom, and it also allowed you the ability to support people, not in just releasing their past or releasing trauma, but how do you begin to create your future that's going to allow you to produce the life you want to produce. And so the people that I'm here to serve, the people that I know, hey, Kimberly, how are you? If you guys don't know Kimberly Wujek, I'm redoing an introduction video to myself. Go follow Kimberly. She is an amazing person for brands, and you guys need to know Kim, especially in LA. So the reason that you're on this page, or the reason that I've met you, or the reason that you are here is because you are the person that has this, how did say hi to someone when your hands are not on the screen? Yes. Okay, so the reason that you're here is that you're the person who has this picture perfect life on the outside. So the reason you're in this community, the reason that you found me is you have this picture perfect life, which I much did at 21, 22 years old, working for a $23 billion company. I was making six figures. I was like going for this life, and I had this picture perfect thing. But on the inside, I was absolutely dying. I had this overachiever life. All of my friends probably wish they were me. I was like spending money here. I had so much savings, and I loved taking care of everyone. I was like this person that overachieved. My friends admired me. I was a sweetheart. I took care of everybody. Like I would go out and pay for drinks, pay for dinner. But on the inside, which is what I shared, you are emotionally dying. Like you emotionally feel like, how am I going to even keep going in this life, which was much of me. I would wake up in every morning, and I would like be snoozing my alarm. I would like literally put my hair up and go to this corporate career. And I would sit there and be like, shit, like when is this life going to be like something that I want? When is this life going to become something that fulfills me? It's something that I'm passionate about. And when I did this, when I started to really see that I was emotionally struggling, I had this amazing life, but I was struggling, I began to learn something about masculine and feminine energetics. And I began to learn this notion that I was suffering with what I call the wounded masculine, which is where I was operating, or you, if you're here, you're operating in a paradigm for so long where you do to achieve and get to the goals that you want, but it's at a great cost for your emotional well-being. It's at a great cost to your relationships. It's at a great cost to your health. It's at a great cost to you feeling like that you're actually going to make it in this life, besides having an emotional breakdown or possibly suicidal thoughts or suffer with addiction, which is where I was in my life at about 23 years old. I was thinking this. And so you're here because you're kind of at this place where you're struggling, and you've costed your relationship with God, most likely, definitely your emotional intelligence and well-being, definitely not being able to listen to your intuitive sense and take consistent action on it. And so the other reason that you're here is you're at this crossroads in your life, and you're like, Colleen, oh my God, you're right. These are the things that I'm going through. And you're at a crossroads of what is it that I do so I can make this life work. And most likely, if you're here, you're either just breaking out of your marriage or relationships, or you're wondering if you're in the right marriage or relationship or career. Like you're just about to go through this huge identity shift, or you just did. You either just got out of the relationship, or you're just about to, or just about to get out of the career, or you just did. And you're looking for that daunting answer of why is it that I'm here? What is my purpose? And what is the reason that I'm here? And more than anything in this life, like if you could have it, why you're here, why you found me, why this page exists, why you co-created me into your reality, is because you want to know that you can just be happy. You want to know that you can make a difference doing what you love, and you want to know that you can earn uncapped income. And this is really, really important to you. And you're just at this place of, how the hell am I going to do this? How am I going to create a life that I love? How am I going to have freedom? How am I going to be happy? How am I going to ever find the relationship that I'm fulfilled with? And I know these things about you, and I know this anxiety and mindset loops that we go on, because I was you. I suffered with this for years and years and years. And this is really why my business was birthed. My business came alive back in 2018 of becoming your best self, of wanting to create a life that you loved or I loved, designing a life of freedom where I could live, work, play, do whatever I want when I wanted, because it's finally what saved me. It's what saved me of this never-ending loop of wanting to become the best person that I could. It's what saved me of this never-ending drama cycle of believing in myself. And so why, even at a deeper level, though, I started this, like, why did I just know there was a knock, there was a calling inside of me, that there was more in this life, is because I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer at age 14. And I still have the what's it called, the scar on my neck. I still have it, but I knew there was more. And there was just this time in my life where I had to realize that there were effects, long-term effects, that happened to me when I was diagnosed with cancer at age 14. I was told I'd be on medication for the rest of my life, that I wanted to have children. It would be like I need to go and change my medication, and that I would need to see specialized doctors every year for the rest of my life. And when I began to realize these kind of rules or these imprints that were put on my life, and that they were having long-term impacts in the way that I made decisions. They were having long-term impacts in the way that I would achieve to feel validated or worthy in life, to finally be enough just to have what I secretly wanted, which was a life that I loved and just freedom. And as I grew older, as I said, these different experiences that I went through with cancer and these different experiences of what I was doing to cope with it began to resurface from my subconscious mind into my conscious mind. And I started to slowly realize, like, as I was hearing the knock and the calling inside of me for more to this life, that I began to realize that slowly but surely there was information out in this world that I didn't know. There was information out in this world that I could feed into my subconscious mind so that I could actually be able to create the life that I wanted. And as I put new information in my mind, as I got around coaching, as I got around mentorship, as I started leveraging the digital world, technology, YouTube, and listening to new people that I'd never heard of that were making it in life, I began to realize how much cancer had influenced my ability to make money and my ability to have relationships that were healthy. And something really began to change in my mind. Something began to start ticking that maybe I could actually change my life on my own. Maybe I didn't need to work like 10 years for a company to then be promoted, to then be a millionaire. Maybe I didn't need to work and like give all of my life to something and then enjoy my life in retirement. Maybe there was a way that I could build my life and I could love my life and I could enjoy my life all while I was building as I aged. And so something in 2017 that I did that forever changed my mind, forever changed my life, I should say. And I want this video to be this moment for you that maybe it changes something for you, is that I had this dream inside of me. And the dream that I had at the time was I just wanted to live international. I just wanted to know that I could live international on my own without a corporation, without like someone doing it for me. Like I wanted to know I could do it on my own. And so I did something really insane in 2017 is where I quit my job where I was working for a $23 billion company, making six figures, including my bonuses and benefits. And I decided that I was going to quit this job and I was going to move across the world to New Zealand to fulfill my dream. Like I figured I was just going to do it. I was going to risk it. I was going to go for it. And this dream caused me such anxiety. It caused me anxiety for months. Am I doing the right thing? Am I screwing my life up? Am I throwing my life away? Like literally like going and going and going and going in my mind. And so as I was like going through this, I made this decision and I claimed a moment in my life that I just wanted to be happy and I wanted to live a life on my terms. And because of that, I fulfilled my dream. I went to New Zealand. Within 4 weeks, I got a job with a $400 million company. And with that $400 million company, I began to realize that there was something I needed to do. I needed to start realizing why I was thinking and doing life the way I was. So I made a commitment, which is important. I made a big commitment in my life that I was going to do 4 hours of yoga and meditation a day for the time that I was in New Zealand. I wasn't going to party. I wasn't going to like whatever. I was really going to figure out this life. Like, why was I here? Why was this life happening the way that it was? And when I did this, I began to realize why I was forcing myself to function in the matrix, function in like this corporate paradigm. I was realizing why I was like raised the way I was, like with my parents, or why I was taking actions the way that I was. And so this idea came to me when I was doing 4 hours a day of yoga and meditation. I made the commitment and I followed through that. I knew what I was going to do to finally set myself free. I knew what I was going to do to finally be able to make $10,000 months or to build an empire or to whatever that was. And the idea was that I was going to write a book. And I was never a writer. Like I didn't like, what do you call this? Like English class. Like I was a terrible grammar person. Like it was my least favorite class. I never liked the books we were forced to read. But I decided that I was going to write a book. And this idea came to me where I was going to write a book that was called Live Your Truth, Begin Your Journey to Freedom and Healing, which is this book now. So I have it now. It's this book now. You can get it on Amazon or my website, colleengallagher.co. And in this book, my whole goal was to share with people how to intoxicate the world with love, how to take you through a 3 to 5 step process, my system that I went through of how I began to live my truth, how I awakened from the matrix, how I like no longer was going to force myself to suffer. And when I did this, I began to really save myself. And when I did this, I began to realize all these like subconscious beliefs that came to the surface of why was it I was living my life suffering? Why was it that I wasn't getting the money that I wanted? Why was it that I was traveling the world through these massive corporations, but I was still unhappy? Why was it that I had half of my dream, but at the cost of my well-being? Why was it that I was doing all these amazing things? I had access to all these like big C-level executives from Harvard and how they were growing businesses and supply chain, but I was like missing this fulfillment. Why was that? And that was this book. And I wrote this book when I realized there was 4 subconscious like programs or things that people said to me. There was 4 subconscious things that like were like leeches. They were like playing in my mind over and over and over again that weren't letting me become who I wanted to become. And so when I did this book, I finished it and I was like, oh my God, there has to be more people suffering like I was suffering, and this book has to be able to help more people. But how am I going to monetize this book? Like, how am I going to share this message? How am I going to share this out here? Like, I don't have the money to travel the world. I don't have the money to like hire a PR. Like, I didn't have any of this. So I was like, what am I going to do? So all of a sudden on Instagram, there was a woman who followed me on Instagram and it said like how to monetize your book or something like this. I was like, what? So I click her, I make a call with her, and I end up enrolling in her course, which was how to monetize a book. And from that book, or from that course, I learned that you could create a course, an online course from my first book, Live Your Truth, which is what I did. I went and had my book, and then I created an online course. And from the online course that I had, which is my signature program, How to Create Your Fairy Tale Life, which is open for enrollment right now when you guys are listening, but you can get it anytime, the self-study version, How to Create Your Fairy Tale Life, on my website, colleengallagher.co. But when I did this, I was like, oh my God, like I could empower people through my online course, through my book. I could take people through a 6-week process, like guided with me, like coach them, consult them. I'm not going to be in therapy. I'm not confined just to a state. I can meet people all over the world through social media. I could market this, and I can support people on how they're going to gain clarity on their purpose. Like, what is it their truth is? Why is it they're here? And how they can monetize it. And I was like, I could do this because I just learned how to do this. Like, I just learned it, and now I can teach people. And so this course was like perfect because it was like just helping me as I went through a really bad breakup. And I was like, okay, I can help people who are just going through divorce, who are just going through a career shift, people who are going through big identity shifts. I can really help them, and I can speak to them in the online world. And then I can support them in finding their purpose and like making this happen. And I started to do this. I started to build Colleen Gallagher International, which is the page you're finding now, which is who you're talking to now. And this was back in 2018. This was just one woman who was 25 or 6 at the time. I think 25, if I think about it. 25 years old. I was like, I'm just so passionate to want to help people, and I want to help them find their purpose, and I want them to monetize it, and I want them to fall in love. Like I want to make sure people can intoxicate the world with love. Like I want them to be able to look within, remove the toxic programs, the things in their mind that are hindering them, so that they can create a life they love. This is like how I was speaking. This is all I thought about at that time, back in 2018. And so I began to do this course, and people began to enroll. And what the self-study course is now, $297, is what the course used to be when you used to go one-on-one with me. Like it was like literally below minimum wage. I would literally have 6 calls with people, 24/7 access, 18 recorded video modules, 18 workbooks. Like I was taking people like literally less than minimum wage, but I was like so happy, and I showed up, and I was so thrilled. And I did this, and all of a sudden people were getting results. People were like, oh my God, Colleen, like I'm not like so sad about my relationships anymore. Oh my God, I'm not carrying the anger of my past divorces. Oh my God, I'm not like suffering the way that I was. And I began to really really see the shift in people, and people were making money. Like I had people that never had a product. They had no product, no service, not even a book. They didn't have a book like I did. Like they had nothing, no product, no book, no system, no process to take people through. And I would support them in creating their own product or their own service that they could communicate about, that they could share about, that they could network about, and how to share it in the online world. And people were getting results. They were like, oh my God, I have following. Oh my God, people are reaching out to me. Oh my God, people are enrolling. Like it was insane to me. Like I was like, oh my God. And so people began to get results, and they then became to be more curious. They're like, well, Colleen, how are you manifesting so quickly? Like your community's growing so quickly. Like I'm getting results so quickly. You're getting results so quickly. You're so happy. And I also during this time healed my body. I got out of Western medicine completely. I haven't functioned in Western medicine since 2017. I've been off the medication that I've had. And technically, if you know thyroid cancer, I have half of the hormones that are producing in my body that I should. So I shouldn't even have that much energy. And obviously, if you see me online, I have more energy than I've ever had before, and especially the way I've produced. So this was like also really exciting. So people began to come to me, how do you manifest? So I created another course, how to become a powerful manifestor in 8 weeks. And then people enrolled in that course. And something really insane happened, which is why I called this live How to Make $10,000 and Build an Empire, is something really insane happened where I invested money. I invested $30,000 over a 2-year payment plan because I didn't have $30,000, but I did a 2-year payment plan into a mentor so I could learn everything I knew about building a community, leaving an impact, digital marketing, sales, product creation, making passive income, like upselling, downselling, like building a community, connection, retreats, like everything I knew. Like I legitimately was like learning this from this investment. And I was my first time ever investing and like being around someone who was a multimillionaire. I literally messaged my mentor every day for 365 days, I think besides like 6 or 7 days. Like every day I was messaging them, every day going back and forth about like things to up-level my mind. It just goes to show you the power of proximity. And once I did that, I had my first $10,000 month within 6 months of my business. When I never heard of like someone making $10,000 months, I was like, what? This is insane. Like, I don't know any therapist, like psychiatrist that's making $10,000 months from like 6 months into their practice. Like this was insane to me. I'd never heard of this. And so people began to ask me, how do you make money online? So I began to create my course, Change Your Relationship with Money and Earn Income Online bundle. Those are 2 bundles you can get on colleengallagher.co right now if you go there. And so I was like, oh my God, like there has to be more to this. Like there has to be a way you can scale this. There has to be a way there can be more to this. And so I went back and got my master's in global technology and development because I was like, there has to be a way to scale this through systems and corporations that are already existing versus the entrepreneurial world. Like I was so curious and I was so passionate. And so I like went through that and I created my second book, which was The Future for Rohingya Education in Bangladesh, which was all about refugees and how do we create technology-based education systems for refugees. So I was like, if I can create technology education systems for people that are like in developed nations and people who are really making it and people who like, you know, are better off, like there's a way that we could do this for people that are less off. And I realized that I wasn't as passionate about that work as I was about sales and marketing. So I went back into the route of really digital marketing. And so as I was in school, my business kept growing. People kept coming to me for more questions and my clients kept getting results. And I kept growing this online empire. We're 5 years into this. I'm half a decade into my career, which is so exciting as a coach, as a leader, as a light worker, as an artist, as someone who believes in the world of transformation. And I have sold 34 online courses in 5 years. I have 3 books. So I showed you one, The Live Your Truth, The Future for Rohingya Education. My 3rd book, An Uncompromised Life, How to Overcome Heartbreak and Trauma, Experience the Unexplainable and Truly Fall in Love with Life. I have an Oracle deck, which is like an affirmation deck. You just have it by your desk. You pull a card and you share an affirmation. I have these magical prosperity coins, which you just keep around you wherever you make money. And they really support you in like magical prosperity. I have a sticker, which goes How to Intoxicate the World with Love. I have heart sunglasses that are here, which are amazing. They go with my first book, so you'll have them. And I have a top 400 podcast and then a community of 80,000 people in the online world, plus a crystal line. So I have a rose quartz and I have amethyst. So this is like everything I've built in half a decade. And I'm so proud of it. And I wanted to share, like for you, when you're at the beginning of this, like the person that I'm speaking to, the wounded masculine, the person that is suffering because you are doing all the right things, but something is still missing inside of you. You are doing all the right things, the career, you've done the relationship right. You maybe were even in a disagreement with your partner, whether it was a woman or a male, and you were the one that had to pay alimony or you had to pay a settlement. Like you did everything right. And it's like, maybe your kids still feel resentment towards you. Maybe the relationship didn't work out. Maybe the career sucks. Maybe you're like, why am I still alone and I feel so isolated when I'm the one who's like given to everybody above and beyond? Why am I still so alone in this life? Why do I still feel so shitty? Why is the money not where I want it to be yet? And I want you to know, like, I was you. Like, I get it because I was you. I was making six figures at 21 years old into now a multiple six-figure business, 80,000 person community, all the products I've created, all the services I've developed, all the transformations that I've allowed my clients to have, like with getting out of relationships, with getting into relationships, with falling in love, with being more happy, with growing emotional intelligence, with growing network. Oops, hold on. Okay. With growing a network, like whatever that it is, like whatever that you've done, like I feel like I've done this work for half a decade, and I've supported that wounded masculine. I've supported you in being able to know, like, making your first money online. Like, I've had my clients make their first $10,000 months online. I've had my clients make their first six-figure years. Like, I've had my clients develop their own product, not even just about me. And what I wanted to share is, like, you, whoever you are listening to this, in this wounded masculine and this reintroduction of who is Colleen Gallagher, why is Colleen Gallagher International here? Like, I want you to know more than anything in this life that this life is possible for you. I want you to know that it's possible for you to stop suffering. I want you to know that you can create a life that you love, that is sustainable over a period of time. I want you to know that if you're craving another narrative in relationships, whether that's monogamy or non-monogamy, whatever that it is, like the life of your dreams, a career that you're wildly passionate about, that it's possible. And so with that, there's three ways that I have to support you when you're watching this, of how to go further, of how to take this into the next part. And the three ways that I have, three product lines that I suggest, is one is relationships. So relationships, as I said in the very beginning, I wanted to just create a life that I love. And relationships will either make you in this life or they will break you. And so my number one product line that I always love to start people with is relationships. So we go through, right, in any of my programs, especially when I'm launching right now, How to Create Your Fairy Tale Life, how is it we go through your trauma? What was your history from your parents, the past relationships, and how is that trauma, like I said in my story, how there's subconscious things in your mind that are hindering you from being able to connect with relationships that are right in front of you, that are right for you, that are going to fulfill you? Like, what are the stories and narratives going in your mind that are not letting you get to where you want to go? That's number one. And from that, I then really go into, okay, how do we go through networking? How do we go through sustainable connections? How do we go through conflict resolution? How do we go through dating? How do we go through everything around love, intimacy, and connection? How do we go, like, the relationships start with you, the relationship of self-love, the relationship of how you treat yourself, the relationship of how you treat past lovers, the energy you're still carrying with them so you can forgive them, you can move forward, so that you can create the right relationship for you. Two, my second product line, the second thing that I help people with, is digital marketing or sales. So we go through, right, I teach you everything about creating a product online. How do you create a product? How do you create product lines? How do you have a community building? How do you have upsells, downsells, creating relationships that last for years? Like, I have clients that have been here for years. Your customer journey, branding, content creation, writing, video creation. Like, I go through everything I know to teach you how do you really build a career that is based around freedom. So you can live, you can work, you can breathe, you can enjoy wherever you want to do. Like, my laptop and my phone, as long as I have it. My first year in business, I traveled to 13 countries and I made $100,000 my first year in business. And I did that by knowing my phone, being on my phone, wanting to impact, wanting to serve, always having things to offer. So that's number two, my second product line that I really help you with. So one is relationships, two, digital marketing and sales. How do we really create your life around freedom, your career around freedom? Three, my third product line that I'm super passionate about. Hold on. Three, my third product line that I'm super passionate about is New Age spirituality. So after we go through relationships, and these are not in order, I sell them all, or I offer them all in different ways. But once you have relationships, once you have digital marketing, spirituality. So no matter what in life, you have to learn how to be connected to your destiny. You have to be connected to your purpose, which is why I said the very first thing that I do with anybody is, what is the clarity on your purpose? Why is it you're here? So you feel confident in the way you're communicating. You feel confident in your actions. You feel confident that even if nobody's watching, you know why you're here, and you know that your work is of high service, and you know that God is watching you and admiring you. So you want to begin to look, like, what is the thing with your destiny? What is the energy that's calling you forward? What's the knock happening inside of you that's pulling you in the direction of there's more in this life? And then from that, from energetics, New Age spirituality, how do we begin to relate with masculine and feminine energetics? How do we become a more balanced leader of our life? How do we connect with God? How do we listen more attunely to where we're meant to go, instead of asking, how am I going to make $1 million? How am I going to make $10,000? How is this going to happen? Instead, we go, oh, This is what I meant to do. I meant to make an Oracle deck. I meant to make a coffee brand. I meant to teach on food. I meant to be a chef, whatever that it is. But like using the skills you have, that you tune into that and you begin to just take action instead of spiraling in how it's never going to happen or how you're going to make it happen. So that's my third product line. So we have relationships, digital marketing and sales, new age spirituality. Really, how do we leverage energy to get the results that you want? So the ways that I can support you as follows, and these are the way that I recommend, anyone going in there. I can come back and leave the links so you guys have them. But the first way that I feel called to, if you get more value and you can really get to know me more and you can hear real life experiences and processes and systems and actions and applications that I've taken myself through, like practical things, is the Colleen Gallagher podcast. So it's on Google, it's on Apple, it's on Spotify. If you just Google the Colleen Gallagher podcast, it'll pop up. We have over 120 episodes, all relating to the content, the topics, as I mentioned, of relationships, digital marketing, and new age spirituality to support you in creating a life that you love. That's the first thing. It's totally free, 100% free. You can listen to whatever. I don't even know how many hours the 120 episodes, but there's a lot of hours of content that you can listen there and really absorb to get a better feel of me and for us to grow our relationship. 2 is you can grab any of my books on my website, colleengallagher.co, or you can go to Amazon or Google. They're at Target, Walmart, anything. You can just Google and you'll be able to get them wherever you want. Signed copies, though, are obviously only on my website, colleengallagher.co. Yes, they are more expensive, but I highly recommend it because I write an intuitive note and it comes in a special packaging and I really connect with you when I do it. So if you can, I always suggest going to my website and getting it. Third way to connect with me to go further on this. If you're like, I'm ready to take action, Colleen, I listened to this, I'm ready to be done suffering, I'm ready to make this happen for me. The third thing that you can do is go to my website, colleengallagher.co. And you want to look through my online courses. I have things from $1 all the way up to $6,666. So you can start with a $1 mindset audio. It's 20 minutes. It is a beautiful space of how to shift into a limitless state, like shift your mind into a limitless state of being, shift your anything. And so that is like the best way you can go. There's self-study courses where I really support you in being able to create a life you love through relationships, through digital marketing and sales, or new age spirituality. We have meditations, we have activations, we have things on money mindset, we have things on writing, content creation, we have things on overcoming relationships. Hey, Steve, how are you? So I really recommend going to my website, colleengallagher.co, look around, find the right thing for you. It's, a few $100 investment, or we do have Afterpay, so you can do it in installments, which really works for you. And on most of the courses that are on there, you do get a book that comes with it. So that's 3. 4, you want to go to the next level. You really want more access to me. You want to talk with me. You want me to be... you want me to be like in your field, or you want me to be like talking with you about your problems, or you want me to be supporting you into the transformation you're going through, it would be to join my mastermind, which is called Elevate, or my one-on-one coaching. In my mastermind, we meet twice a month, or my one-on-one coaching, we meet weekly. And I do have only limited spots for that. But anyway, if that's you and you're really ready to make transformation happen for you, that is the places that I would suggest. If you're like, I'm ready to go all in, I'm ready to make this happen, that's the place for you. And then lastly, obviously, you can always stay here in the community, whether it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, it's on Medium, it's on LinkedIn, it's on my email list, wherever that is, you can always stay here, comment on my photos. We put so much free content out to really be supportive in your transformation and offering support. And so, make sure notifications on, make sure you click follow, make sure you are talking about me with your friends. Like, hey, I just listened to this girl and she was saying this, what do you think about that? And really start to carry over dialogue of what you're hearing from me into the lives of others. And so that's a way that's free. So I'll list the things again, just so you have it. There's 5 ways. So we have 1, the free podcast, the Colleen Gallagher podcast, any platforms. It's very easy to find. 2, any of my books at colleengallagher.co. We have Live Your Truth, The Future for Rohingya Education, and An Uncompromised Life. You can get these anywhere if you just Google it. 3, my website, colleengallagher.co. Go to online programs and experiences, and you can look at the relationships, digital marketing and sales, money mindset, and also new age spirituality to feel more connected, meditation, whatever that it is. You can start your journey there with $1 to a few $100s to get some of my recorded modules, my recorded videos, my recorded content. There's homework, there's real life examples of my life that I don't share anywhere else. And you can apply these practices to your life so you get the same results that I have of $10,000 months, of 80,000 person communities, of having best-selling books, of having products you're developing, of having new things you're always creating. 4, you can join my Mastermind Elevate or my one-on-one coaching. And lastly, you can stay here in the community and enjoy everything that's here. So the other thing that I would ask you to do, if you made it to the end of this, it would mean the world to me if you just left a comment, if you shared that you watched it, if you shared what you loved. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. I love coming back and engaging with comments or offering support to be a resource for you. And the thing that I would ask of you is if you could please share this. So if you share it with a friend, you share it on your profile, whether it's your story, but just to share it so other people know about this message of really being able to create a life they love and knowing that it's possible, because there's a lot of us that are suffering and there's a lot of people, like a lot of us who require healing, and we don't know people like me exist who have walked this path. I didn't know people like me exist when I was first awakening and beginning my path. I didn't know that there was people who were out there who could support you in the trauma you'd experienced, support you in the pain that you were going through, support you in knowing that you're not alone. And so if you could please share this. All my business is through social media. Like I said, I do not have a brick and mortar store. As if it was a therapy, I really believe in these platforms of connectivity. I believe in the power of connection. I believe in the power of truly supporting each other. So if you could share this, it would mean the world to me, as when you use your voice to connect me to others who may need me. It's when we begin to come together as a community, so we fulfill our mission together to intoxicate the world with love. So I hope you guys love this reintroduction of me. I hope this served you guys, and I'm super excited to talk with you soon, to see you in my courses soon, to see you engaging in my content soon. There's nothing that makes me more fulfilled and happier and joyous. So I love you and enjoy your day.